Stage 1. You are born into a community that calls itself the collective. Outsiders call it something else, but outsiders rarely speak about it publicly. Your father isn't introduced as dad, he's introduced as elder. You are born in a private hospital wing owned by one of the organization's healthcare subsidiaries. On paper, it's a standard medical facility. In reality, it answers upward. No press release, no social media announcement, but inside the inner circle, your birth is celebrated strategically because you are not just a child. You are succession insurance. Your first memories are not playgrounds. They are conference rooms disguised as prayer halls. Your childhood unfolds inside a gated estate that looks peaceful from the outside. White stone, perfect landscaping, soft music drifting through courtyards. But behind the serenity is surveillance, cameras hidden in light fixtures, security disguised as volunteers, access gates controlled remotely. You grow up believing this is normal. Every family owns corporations. Every family runs foundations. Every family shapes cities. You don't yet understand what you were born into, but the system understands exactly what you are. Stage 2. The machine behind the message. At 9 years old, you begin noticing patterns. Your father doesn't just preach, he directs. Board meetings follow sermons. Financial projections follow prayer sessions. You attend your first leadership summit at 13. Externally, it's a charity conference. Internally, it's a strategic power review. You sit quietly in the back as slides move across the screen. Membership growth, revenue distribution, expansion targets, and between every financial chart, scripture. Faith and finance braided together so tightly, they're indistinguishable. You meet the chief financial officer at 15. He explains calmly, belief generates capital. Capital generates leverage. Leverage generates protection. You ask what protection means. He doesn't smile. When you employ thousands and fund hospitals, regulators hesitate. That's when you realize this isn't just a movement, it's infrastructure. Members tithe. Tithes feed holding companies. Holding companies acquire assets. Assets fund expansion. Expansion brings more members. It is vertically integrated devotion, and your surname sits at the top. Stage 3. Grooming the heir. At 14, you are invited into a smaller room. 12 executives sit around a table. Your father places his hand on your shoulder. "This is my son," he says. Eventually, he will help guide the vision. No applause, just nods. You feel the weight of expectations settle. At 16, you attend a private youth retreat, marketed as spiritual leadership training. In reality, it is succession programming. You and 5 other heirs are given restricted access to internal doctrine. You learn narrative management, crisis containment, internal discipline systems. You discover how dissent is handled, not publicly, quietly. Members who question leadership are guided. If guidance fails, they are released. Released means shunned. Shunned means erased. You begin to understand leaving is not departure, it is exile. Stage 4. The illusion of normal. At 17, you fall in love. She's not from the collective. She sees you, not the legacy. For the first time, you experience something dangerously unfamiliar. Unstructured life. No security detail. No curated messaging. Just normal conversations. You imagine a future detached from the system, but your father notices. He doesn't forbid it. He reframes it. You are not outside this structure, he says. You are the structure. The relationship ends quietly. At 19, you attend university. Officially, you're a student from a philanthropic family. Unofficially, you are under watch. 2 assistants remain 50 meters away at all times. Every semester, you return home to strategy sessions. You watch the collective expand globally. Africa, Eastern Europe, Southeast Asia, always under humanitarian branding. Behind the scenes, property acquisition, political donations, strategic partnerships, expansion disguised as compassion. You begin presenting at internal conferences. People applaud, not for your ideas, for your bloodline. You start to feel the paradox forming. Influence without earning it. Authority without freedom. Stage 5. The realization of the cage. At 22, a senior member questions financial transparency. He requests independent audits. Within a week, he vanishes from the stage. Officially, he's pursuing a private calling. You learn the truth. Structures eliminate instability. Even internally, you begin to see the full architecture. If you left publicly, members would question leadership. Media would investigate finances. Governments might intervene. Your departure wouldn't be emotional. It would be systemic shock. You are not just a son. You are a keystone. Remove the keystone. The arch cracks. At 24, your father speaks plainly. This isn't about control, he says. It's about preservation. Movements collapse when heirs defect. Continuity ensures survival. You begin drinking at night, not heavily, just enough to quiet the friction between who you are and what you represent. You imagine anonymity, a small town, a different name, no security, but you know the cost. Public denunciation, loss of inheritance, total family separation. You would not just leave power, you would lose everyone. Stage 6. The impossible choice. At 25, you receive a formal title, Director of Global Strategy. You sign expansion deals worth hundreds of millions. You oversee growth into 3 new regions. You understand something chilling. The collective does not need you emotionally. It needs you symbolically. You stabilize the future. You reassure investors. You maintain confidence. You are architecture now. At 27, your father gives you the truth. You either lead this forward, he says, or you fracture it. He doesn't threaten you. He doesn't need to. The system does that for him. You stand alone on a balcony overlooking the city. Thousands of people move freely below. No one recognizes you. No one expects legacy from you. For a moment, you imagine walking away, but you understand the scale. Leaving would destabilize corporations, charities, employees, members, families. You were not born into chains. You were engineered into infrastructure. You are heir to a spiritual empire that functions like a multinational corporation. You have wealth, influence, protection, but you do not have anonymity. You do not have autonomy. You were born inside a palace, and the palace has invisible walls. You can stay and inherit power, or you can leave and detonate the structure. Either way, something breaks. The only question is, would you risk collapsing an empire just to be free?